welcome to The Rest is Football with Micah Richards, Alan Shearer and me, Gary Lineker. We're meeting up the morning after the night before when Arsenal met Paris Saint-Germain. PSG ran out 1-0 winners, a very early goal, and then, no goals after that. And Alan was doing co-coms for Amazon, and Micah, you were presumably working for CBS. It was a disappointing result, obviously, for Arsenal. Could conceivably have been worse, although they could, great couple of saves from Donnarumma as well. There wasn't a lot in the game overall.
Oh, I would slightly disagree with that. I thought PSG were the better team by a long way. I just thought Arsenal never really recovered from that early blow of conceding the goal. It was a great atmosphere before the game. Arsenal fans were in great spirit, great voice. But that early goal flattened everything and everyone. And the fans didn't recover, the players didn't really recover. And I just thought PSG were by far the better team. They defended well, and even when they got through Arsenal, on 2 occasions they did. Martinelli got through in the first half, great save from Donnarumma. Trossard got through in the second half, great save from Donnarumma. But other than that, I thought PSG went to Arsenal and did a job on them. I thought they were absolutely outstanding, PSG, in everything they did.
Just looking at the game tactically, Arsenal have been given a little bit of stick for going in a low block at times. But when they conceded the goal, they went on the front foot. And I was thinking to myself, you can't go on the front foot when you've not got Thomas Partey. It just doesn't work. And PSG knew exactly what they was trying to do, draw Arsenal out. So if you look at the goal, and this is why I like Declan Rice in a more advanced position, because I feel like it can affect the press, and defensively he's a lot better where he can get up and down. But when he was playing as a number 6, and he was going to mark their midfielder, they knew exactly what they wanted to do. I watched all the clips beforehand. That's what they do. They suck you out, and if Dembele comes and receives the ball and try to turn and then get you down the width. And I just thought, yes, they wanted to be on the front foot. They was at home, wanted to get the crowd behind them. But I thought tactically they got it wrong. I thought they could have waited, growing in confidence in the game, and then do what they need to do. But they tried to press PSG like they were Madrid. But PSG are a way better side than Madrid. If you give them time and space, the guys in midfield, we've talked about PSG's midfield all season, they will hurt you. And Nuno Mendes against Saka, he didn't give him a kick. Helped by Kvaratskhelia on that side as well. But I have to agree with Alan. I thought PSG were the better team by miles.
I thought for 30 minutes, Arsenal didn't really know what day it was. They were in a bit of a spin, and they went as individuals and maybe in twos and to go and press, and they didn't get it right. And they recovered for the last sort of 10 or 15 minutes of the first half. But other than that, there was a tight offside. Well, it was probably half a yard offside from the free kick, which was crazy how long it took, considering that he was half a yard offside. But there was a 10 or 15 minute spell first half. But other than that, I thought PSG had their number.
I just didn't understand the press. You guys know better than me when you're a striker. So there was going with 2. There was going with a Trossard at times. Sort of set up as a 4-4-2 when they pressed, and Odegaard was sort of behind him. But we all know PSG's midfield, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz and João Neves can hold onto the ball. So when they was going with a 4-4-2 press, if you break the first line of press, you've got the 3 midfielders to contend with. And you've got Rice, who can't get really tight because he's playing a little bit deeper. And then on the goal, Martinelli, if you're going to go as a 4-4-2, if the ball goes to one side, you've got to come across and block the inside of the pitch. I just thought it was very naive. I won't say it's arrogance. I think they tried to play on a front foot, but they didn't understand how good this PSG can be. And once they get out, they've got fullbacks who are high and wide and rapid and have quality in Nuno Mendes and Hakimi. I just think, the ruffle the feathers, and Arsenal didn't know how to get back into the game. Apart from them, the chances. Look, they take one of them chances, we might be saying something different. But if you watch the whole game and you break it down tactically, there were so many more positives for PSG than Arsenal, I thought.
What should Arsenal do differently in the second leg?
Well, they'll have Thomas Partey back. That'll be a huge
that's
difference.
That's a good point, yeah.
I mean, I don't think, if Partey is playing last night, I don't think Dembele gets that space that he's got for that goal.
Correct.
I think Partey would have been in that position. They were... With it being so early on, they were in two minds whether defender, centre-half goes right in there with him tight and they just didn't get the press right. They went and the PSG, with their quality, they beat the press with ease. And it was brilliant the way they did it into Dembele, turn Kvaratskhelia on that left-hand side, and then the way he picked out then again Dembele, because he held his run. It was a clever run as well, and the finish. I mean, it was a brilliant goal. 26 passes, by the way, that goal was. So, and even what was it, after 3 minutes or so. So I just think that tells you the quality that they are. But I really don't think that happens if Partey is playing, and that will be a huge difference next week. And it's going to be it'll have to take a monumental effort and performance from Arsenal to get through, because what was a very difficult task just became a lot tougher.
Just on that midfield role, and we've talked about Rice so many times, and in the number 8, I genuinely believe he's world class. But I think Rice has got too much energy, and I'm not going to say not enough discipline, because he can play the 6. Obviously, he was up against PSG, who are a very good side. But it reminds me of the likes of Jordan Henderson at Liverpool, James Milner at Man City. They've got too much energy to play that one. For them, it feels like they always need to be doing something. Sometimes when you're playing the 6, and that's why when we compared Rice to Rodri, the different players is a specialised position where knowing where to be and being happy not to be involved in the game. All you're doing is scanning and plugging the gaps where you need to be, where Rice has got too much ability just for that role.
I think there was that one occasion in the second half when Trossard had that chance of Rice burst through the midfield. Mm-hmm. And that probably was the only occasion that they were able, or he was able to do that. To get the best out of him, he needs to be doing that, because that is a great part of his game, the way he travels with the ball, and he wasn't able to do that a lot last night.
He's not a 6, he's an 8.
No.
He's an 8, yeah.
I've thought that. I mean, he's so good he took a couple of times in the game when he strides through the opposition's midfield with the ball and breaks the lines that way. I mean, when he ever had the ball, his performance was good, but obviously they had to play him there, I suppose, yesterday because of the Thomas Partey thing. I think he's definitely an 8, and we've seen that rather than a 6, because, as you said, his greatest strength is probably running with the ball.
Yeah.
Arsenal have got it all to do. Will Arteta have learnt something from that as well? I mean, I know he's got the Partey thing, but do you think so you're basically saying you think he got it wrong, Micah, last night?
No, it's not necessarily. I think he got it. Yeah, well, I don't say got it wrong. I think to press the PSG side without Thomas Partey is very difficult, because you can have the energy to do it, but then you need to be tactically aware. And the other thing is, when Luis Skelly plays, normally he comes in the central midfield area, especially on the ball, and he got that extra protection in the middle of the pitch. But they couldn't do that because you got Hakimi and Doué wide, so he has to stay wide. So that means if Rice goes, I just thought the midfield was always going to be too light against PSG. I think Arsenal, in terms of in the Champions League, they've not conceded many goals. Only 7 goals have conceded in the Champions League. So Arsenal's strength is actually performing well in a low block and then hitting them on transition. I thought that was probably the better way to go. Don't forget, match day 2, Arsenal beat PSG, so they've got confidence from that. But people don't understand, this is a different PSG now. Yeah, Dembele wasn't starting in that game. All the rotations are different. You've got Barcola to bring off. The midfield have got the balance right. And the fullbacks are in the form of their life at this moment in time. So it's always going to be a different game. And I commend Arteta for going on the front foot and trying to press. But the fact is, the matter is, you're leaving the pitch too open with 3 of the best midfielders in Europe. I just didn't get that strategy.
Are PSG's two fullbacks the best combination of fullbacks in world football at the moment, club-wise?
Yes, without doubt.
So good, aren't they?
Yeah, they're so good. I mean, when you look at Mendes in terms of defensively, who he's come up against, Saka last night, and he's given them a really, really tough game. And he has up until now certainly come out on top in those games. So. And I mean, Hakimi, the energy that he's got up and down, the pace and everything else is just incredible. They are a very good team, by the way. They have got some outstanding individuals. And Luis Enrique deserves great credit because he's moulded a very, very good team. When you consider what they were like in the first week in October, when Mike has just said when Arsenal played them, they're a very different team now to what they were then. They're a very different team now to what they were years ago when they had the superstars and the individuals. But what he's done now is he's got this team playing as a team rather than individuals. And when you're all over the park from goalkeeper right the way through, we've gone through the back four, whether it's Marquinhos or the two fullbacks or Pasha. We've gone through the midfield and then the front three that he's got. And then he's got Barcola to come on as a substitute. So, yeah, they're a very, very good team.
He's done a superb job, Luis Enrique, because I don't think anyone would have thought PSG would be this good at this stage of the season when, in the early stages of this season, he's really turned them into a well-oiled machine. They've got real creativity in there with people like Kvaratskhelia, in particular, Dembele. I mean, you can see at time what a really good coach is. He brings out the best in people and improves players. I mean, Dembele has been always dangerous, always loads of ability, but often his decision-making, certainly his final pass and actual finishing was not as good as it could have been, and certainly not as good as it's been this season. He has had a lot of big injuries and out for quite some time, particularly when he was at Barcelona. It didn't quite ever work for him there, despite, if you remember way back when he was bought for an absolute fortune. I mean, he's turned him into a player that's having the season of his life. He scored over 30-odd goals now. Kvaratskhelia, weirdly, we all thought, we talked about this before, wasn't really, it seems, considered by a lot of the big clubs, the monster clubs. I mean, PSG is a big club. I'm talking about big clubs in this country. So it's, Doué's unearthed. He's clearly a real jewel, that kid. He's got so much talent, hasn't he? He's about to turn 20. So they've got good players right throughout the side, as you said. The midfield players who, someone like Vitinha did... Wolves, he didn't appear to do much, and he's found the very best way to play him. I mean, doesn't give the ball away at all. He's a really clever footballer, Micah.
Oh, he's absolutely amazing. When he went to PSG, you look at the stats and all, like you're doing your homework, and I was like, where's Vitinha gone? And so he's gone to PSG. I was like, he's not going to play at PSG because let's not forget they had Zaire Emery, who everyone was raving about. He said he thought he was going to have that position locked off for years to come. But he's gone in that holding role and just dictates. What a player he's been. But I'd just like to go back to your point, Gary, just on Dembele. Obviously, he's played on left. He's played on the right. You played on the right for Barcelona, and we've talked about that. But
hang on. Gary was out there. I'm not so sure he fucking played out there. He was out on the right. Just to get that clear.
I was out on the right in the European Cup Winners' Cup final when I knocked a ball in. Big cross, far post, Bosch, 1-0.
Sorry, Micah, carry on.
No, well brought up, Al. But in terms of the transition or having to adapt to a position, because from someone, like you said, who's gone from so frustrating, but then to lead in the line, but not only just lead in the line, and he's not a Alan Shearer holding it up or Didier Drogba, but the way he drops off and links the play and then makes a run after. I just think it's quite remarkable how he's managed to go from just an out-and-out winger to now playing the number 9. How hard is that to do? Because you've done it.
Well, I played as a 9 all my life, though, Micah, so that it was actually the other way around for me. I had to learn how to play on the right wing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, so it's the other way, but it's to go from one position to the other.
Well, I think what speaks volumes for him is it's a lot easier playing on the wing, right? There's no question about that, because you can get the ball and then you can run, maybe beat someone, cross it, or just take a touch and cross the ball in. So there's not as much pressure on you when you're playing as a 9. You're often with your back to goal. Like you said, you have to drop deep sometimes, bring it in, and then spin, get in the box. It's a different. That's the thing about it. It's a totally different role. I mean, I remember when I first broke into Leicester's team when I was 18 years old. And as often is the case there, they see something in someone, but they put you in the team, but they play you out of position because you can't get you in as a 9 in those strikers, we used to call them back then. But instead, I played my first 30-odd games for Leicester on the right wing. So I had some experience of it, but I didn't know what I was doing, because it's a totally different skill set, really. Maybe Dembele was perhaps more suited, and that's why it's suited him to play in that position. As a centre forward rather than a wide man, although it's more difficult. But I don't know. It is tough, but it's just some players can play in multiple positions and some can't. And I think I probably wasn't one of those that could, but Dembele certainly is. Let's take a little break and we'll discuss it further when we come back. Welcome back to The Rest is Football with Alan Shearer, Micah Richards and me, Gary Lineker. We were discussing the fluidity of Dembele's game, and also you can say the fluidity of the front three there, because they really do move around a lot, don't they? Kelly is all over the place and he's really dangerous. And Dembele doesn't play as an out-and-out 9. He kind of floats around, goes wide at times as well. So they have, even though their system is very well structured and planned for midfield, there is that freedom that perhaps the forwards have.
Well, they switched wings after about 20-25 minutes. Doué and Kvaratskhelia, they went out to the one went to the left, the other one came on the other side. And what you said it already, what Dembele does, which is very difficult for defenders, he does like to drop deep. But in terms of the play, when he does drop deep, you see how many people run past him. You've got 2 bomb-on fullbacks who are non-stop, who make it very difficult for you. You've got midfielders who go past him as well. And then, as you said, the other 2, they've got the freedom to do what they want. So that's why they're so difficult to play against. If you give them the time and the space and you don't get your press right, which Arsenal clearly didn't, then they're very difficult to pick up. They really are.
Totally agree. What a side they are to watch. I think when you're looking at the game, the amount of homework that's gone into their system, like Gary said, how fluid they are. Everyone knows exactly where they want to be. Even if you look at the goal that PSG scored against Aston Villa, you've got your fullbacks the highest up on the pitch, but then the work of like Fabian Ruiz, who goes from centre mid, he sneaks into left back position, and they all well drilled. And the coach, like you mentioned before, is doing a terrific job. And I always thought this game was 50-50, and it's still in the balance. But if they were to beat Arsenal, I think they have to be favourites, because I think they're playing the best football right now in the competition.
Let's talk about some of the Arsenal players. Odegaard quiet again. Found it difficult to get involved in the game. He's pretty quiet. I think it's one of those, he was out for quite a long time, wasn't he? And he came back and he's rushed and he played a lot of games consecutively. And I think sometimes, when you've had a long injury, initially you've got full of energy and you start, and then it's very difficult to find your consistent form. And he struggled a little bit, certainly by comparison with last season. But it's not easy when you're coming back from a long-term injury, particularly in the second half of a season, I think.
Yeah, I thought he struggled. He struggled last night. He couldn't really get himself into the game. When he did, he just lacked that, that little bit of burst, that pace with a pass or whatever. Couldn't quite get that right, and he struggled to keep up, I thought, with their midfield, the way they passed it around with pace, and he wasn't able to create anything really.
It was hard though, and I'm not making excuses for Odegaard. I think we've mentioned how good PSG, and when Arsenal defend, they don't defend with a back four. They basically defend with a back six, with Saka coming really deep and Martinelli. So when Odegaard gets the ball, because you've got someone like Trossard, who I actually thought played really well, he held it up well, but he didn't have the... And this is why I keep saying that Arsenal need another body. And yes, if they get a top striker or not, but someone who's just willing to run in behind on the transition, like they did with Martinelli against Madrid last game. But that was when Real Madrid was committing all the men forward. Sometimes I look up and Odegaard gets on the ball and he's got no real options that can stretch the opposition because Arsenal at times are too deep, and when you're the most creative player in the team and you're looking for passes and it's not there, if you're not doing amazing passes, you're the one who gets all the stick. But I just thought it was very difficult for him to have an effect on the game because of PSG was so good, and he couldn't really get out.
Micah, what I would say now is, from an Arsenal point of view, is that everyone knows that that's the trophy that Paris Saint-Germain have to win. So they are under huge pressure.
Well, so are Arsenal, though, because it's a trophy they've got never won.
Yeah, I get that, but they're down now. So there's an expectancy to go to Paris and Paris win this game. And when they're at home, in front of their own fans. So if Arsenal can put any sort of pressure on them, then it is a very, very, it's not impossible, but it's very, very difficult. But trying to give them a little chink of hope somewhere that PSG have to win this trophy. They're up now, yes. Everyone's looking at them and thinking they're going to beat Arsenal. But if Arsenal can get off to a decent start, then I think that would be their biggest hope.
My worry for us is I watched them and they've not got much up top at the moment.
Were you surprised they didn't make changes a little bit earlier?
Yeah, I am, but they've not got that many options, particularly in forward areas. I know Nwaneri probably came on too late to kind of make any sort of impact in the game, really. But I think looking at them overall, Trossard, you said Micah worked really hard, did okay. One really good chance. His first touch has taken his angle away from him a little bit. If he pulls it onto his right, he can't miss. It was a poor first touch. Martinelli did exactly the same thing. His first touch took him away a little bit onto the left side and he killed his own angle. Both of those chances, a really top striker there. I think, yes, they were brilliant saves. They hit the target, but they're really, really good chances. And it's the thing that Arsenal have been lacking for a while now. We know that.
Let's be honest, though. Come on. If you look at the two teams, PSG have got better players. You're totally right, Gary. Without being, really honest about the situation. If you've got Kvaratskhelia, Doué, and Dembele, Barcola, and Gonzalo Ramos up front, the five players. Arsenal, like you said, have got Nwaneri to bring off the bench. Sterling, Sterling's not been in the best form recently. They got outplayed by a better team. The fullbacks are as good as anyone, like we've mentioned. The midfield is as good as anyone. It was always going to be difficult for Arsenal, but you have to actually watch them. I think a lot of people had in their minds PSG earlier on in the season. It's a different team. This is a team with full of confidence and top players.
Although that was a team also that went to Villa Park and nearly blew it in the second half.
Yeah, so things can happen. Things can happen. It's not all lost for Arsenal because, they've got to basically go to PSG and do to PSG what PSG did to Liverpool in the second leg when they were trailing. So things can turn around. I just wonder whether Arsenal have quite got the firepower. Just one final word on that. I hate to do this. It really pains me, and apologies to everyone, but I thought your co-commentary was good. Can I get the words out? Was really good, Alan. I'll tell you what I enjoy, and this is me just with. I suppose I'm a bit old school, but I thought you and John Champion. I thought you got it. You didn't overtalk, and that's one of my irritants of nowadays is the constant talk of commentary and pundits, and it's sort of become the way. That it's almost like they're having a conversation between themselves the whole game, and it's non-stop. Feels like they have to fill every second of on-air time with voices and talking. It was so refreshing tonight for John Champion to tell us what's actually happening on the pitch, and then you come in when necessary. You weren't over-talking over his commentary, which is another little irritant of mine. I'm old school. That's how it used to be, and I thought it was really refreshing. So take that compliment, Alan.
Are you on meds?
We've got it recorded, lads. It's here forever. We can't ever take that back. Praise from the Lineker. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Don't worry about that.
I want to finish this episode because we haven't had the chance to do it since, or we didn't do it since, is that because I wanted all three of us at the same time to talk about Jamie Vardy. Because he obviously announced that he's leaving Leicester in amazing, more than a decade there. Probably the second greatest Leicester City striker ever, just behind Emil Heskey. But I'd like to just thank Jamie for all he's done for Leicester City Football Club. He's inimitable. He can be a bit of a shithouse at times on the pitch for everyone, but I always think in a brilliant way. He's been one of the game's great finishers. He's done some incredible things. He was part of obviously the title-winning team in 2016 and then the FA Cup winning team as well. He's been incredibly consistent and is very much an absolute hero of all Leicester City fans. So thank you, Jamie Vardy, and good luck with whatever comes next.
It's been a brilliant story, his, hasn't it? It's been an incredible story. Don't forget the time where he could have left. There was Arsenal were chasing him, weren't they, massively? But what a story! And good luck to whatever he does, whether he chooses to go out and play in the sunshine or wherever. He deserves whatever he chooses next.
I'm hearing Wrexham, guys. He wants to go to Wrexham.
Really?
Whatever he does.
Might not be much sunshine there.
I can see him in the MLS.
I can see him in he was an absolute shithouse to play against. Oh my God. You know, like when you want to get a breather. And he's just looking at you, staring at you. Like,
you play against him a few times, Micah.
We played against him. You remember the season when we got relegated and they went on that daft run, didn't they? They beat us last minute. It was Nathan Dyer. He got a goal. And in the first half, I marked him out of the game. He tried to kick a run past me. I was like, behave yourself. You notice his big meeks. If you're faster than me, the arms coming out. And then as I tired, he just got stronger. And I was like, this is not normal. He comes with his little daft Red Bull and he's just so energetic. And what a player.
Before we wrap up today, a quick segment from our friends at Guinness. There's nothing quite like the perfect serve, is there? Whether it's a glorious assist on the pitch or a beautiful pint of Guinness. Seeing as we talk a lot about Guinness on the show, we thought it was about time we had a little reminder of how to pour the perfect pint. And who's the perfect person to do that for us? Of course, Mr. Alan Shearer. There we go. Come on,
there we go.
Remind me.
Right, you ready, boys?
I think I've got better, though, to be honest.
Get it up there.
Yeah.
Get it in there. Whoa, get it at the top of that little there. And then let it sit just for a little while.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh. That looks tasty, that. How come when I pour it, it's never like that?
Well, look and learn, Micah. That's what we're doing this for. It's for you to look and learn. Leave it for about 30 seconds or so.
There we go. First go. We'll leave it for a while.
Yes, guys. Not bad, guys.
Just let it simmer down.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Let it calm down. And while it's just resting there nicely, the best assists of your career, Micah.
I thought you would never ask, Gary.
You knew I was going to ask. I just told you 2 minutes ago.
Let's go back. Let's take it way back. The Premier League winning season. A certain Sergio Aguero turns up. Who gets his first assist We're talking about timing. And when we're talking about our punditry now, we're talking about fullbacks going inside or outside or whatever it is. Look at the timing of Big Meeks. Get the ball. Someone turns on the inside, left-footed, lovely through ball. I time it. I've got two options. What do? Do I pull it back and wait for someone to come in with the third man run? Or do I go across? What do they call that? The corridor of uncertainty. Who's there to tap home? Sergio Aguero. First assist from Big Meeks for his first goal.
His first goal for Manchester City.
Correct.
And if he hadn't scored his first goal for Manchester City, he would never have been any good, would he?
Oh, not a chance.
So he owes his entire success and career at Manchester City down to Big Meeks. What about you? I'm not going to ask you best assist because, like me, I can't remember one. But who was the person you liked playing with that was the most creative?
David Beckham with England was unbelievable. My last ever goal with England in open play was against Germany in the Euro 2000 from a brilliant free kick from David Beckham. So he was unbelievable. Peter Beardsley at Newcastle, probably Newcastle's best ever player. You know what he's like, Peter Beardsley, an assist. He got so many for you with England, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He was brilliant. I'll also a little shout for a certain Glenn Hoddle.
Oof.
Talk about the perfect serve. That his passing range was extraordinary, and he'd knock it, and you'd see it come over your shoulder, and as it landed, it was almost like it had a bit of check side, in snooker where they get a bit of screw back, and it just lands on the pitch, and it's like, wow, how did he do that? And it was never a fluke because he did it all the time in training.
Brilliant.
As well. So anyway, Alan, if you're any doubt about our pouring skills, have a look at this one. Not bad, eh?
Yes, guys.
Not bad
Beautiful.
at all.
Cheers.
I'm learning. Getting better.
That is smooth.
Oh, yeah. So there you have it. Our take on a beautiful serve for a beautiful Guinness. Official beer of the Premier League. 18 plus, please drink responsibly and please do not forward to anyone under the legal purchase age. For the facts, visit drinkaware.co.uk. Contains no more than 0.05% ABV. That's it. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.